Dr. Alpha Omega Curry. Dr. Curry is highly qualified to do this presentation today. I'm just really impressed with your bio. She is a clinical psychologist. She is retired, I guess. Says you're retired, but are we ever fully retired? Never, never, never. She graduated from Pennsylvania State University, very good university, and I'm not going to read everything in her bio, but I can tell you she's been around and she's done a lot of good, wonderful stuff. Let's bow our heads for prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this Sabbath day. Thank you that Dr. Curry could be with us today and share her expertise on addictive behaviors and how to overcome them. We all have them. And I pray, dear God, that as she shares all of the wonderful stuff that she's come up with, that it will impact each life here, and we'll be better people for it. Thank you for hearing our prayer, and let the show begin. God bless all of you.
Thank you. And thank you for that prayer. I'm glad you included that we all are addicted to something. Right? Right. If you tell me no, I'm going to tell you
You're nuts.
that is a falsehood. Okay? Because we all are addicted to something. I have some challenges today, but as I said, with God, all things are possible. What did I do with my phone? Okay. When I was asked what I wanted to talk about, I said, what do you guys want to talk about? But there are certain things that are really, I have passions for in terms of training and just getting people to be dear to themselves, getting people to know who they are, getting people to look in the mirror at self. And I did this program one afternoon, Sabbath afternoon, down in Santa Monica, and it was well received, but it was challenging for people in the audience because a lot of people have never even looked at self. And you know, we're living in an environment right now where there is conflict, there's chaos, there's confusion. Every day when you turn on the television, there are mass shootings, there are officer-involved shootings, hate crimes, people are hungry, people are homeless. There are too many wars. Wars, not just rumors of wars, but wars. There's drugs, there's crime, there's alcoholism, overdoses, and all of that. So most people, when I say I'm going to talk about overcoming addictive behaviors, they're thinking I'm coming in here to talk about some kind of chemical dependency, some kind of, you know, whether it's prescription drugs. I worked in the Federal Bureau of Prisons for 33 and a half years as a clinical psychologist and a drug abuse program coordinator. Have lots of experience to deal with the challenge I met today by leaving my computer cord, and I did not have time to go from Apple Valley home and come back here. So I said, we're gonna wing it, you know? You learn not do that kind of thing when you work in the Bureau of Prisons because you never know what you're going to be with or without. So be patient with me. We witness people all over the world, here in the United States, here in the high desert, devaluing the life of another human being. You know? We don't value life like we're supposed to or like God intended us to. We engage in behavior and behaviors that totally disregards the mandate of honoring the humanity in each and every one of us. How often do you say to someone other than your spouse or your significant other or your parent, I love you, or I honor you, or I respect you? And a little bit about me. I started off, I'm a native of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I went to high school in Washington, D.C. When I left Washington, D.C., I came to Loma Linda University, La Sierra campus. And California has been my home since then, except for the years I went to Penn State to get my doctorate. Once that was over, I came back to California, and I've been here. And I keep saying I'm going back to Florida, and my family, the ones that are still remaining, are there, but I haven't made it yet. Okay, I love California. Our state, our nation, our country, our world is in a perplexing, troubling environment. And everything that's going on today troubles me. And actually, it should trouble you. But the good Bible tells us, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. So I'm hopeful, I'm thankful, and I'm grateful. What I want to do is, and I'm going to actually look at it on my phone. Says overcoming addictive behaviors. The little flyer you guys got, that's what it says. Strategies and techniques, and it says addict. So I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to ask for some pop-outs, okay? Pop-out means raise your hand, I'll acknowledge you. Don't talk while someone else is talking so we can all hear what each other is saying. Right, you can take the mic around, okay? And I don't have a scribe because I want you guys to do the work, so I'm going to try to scribe myself on the pad, flip chart. Strategies and experiential learning experience. So what I'm going to share with you today is whatever you identify. And before we leave here, I want you to identify at least 5 addictive behaviors that you yourself have. Right? Got it? That's the goal. Some of us have more. Okay? But to start out, I want to ask. And you don't have to say you're identifying one out loud. That's what the paper is for. But some of us don't want to share what some of our behaviors are. Right? So we want you to put them on the paper. That's why we have a pen and a piece of paper. And I already gave the key to the car to get more photos and stuff. I did stuff here.
There weren't paper. Some over here didn't get the paper.
Here,
Who's the keys there?
put I.
Can you speak? You take a mic and speak. Because we tape it too. So it's going out on the.
Oh, that's going to be difficult for me because I'm going to be writing. We'll try.
You can take the mic off, right, David?
I know you can take it off, but,
Yeah, there you go.
okay. All right. So, I want to know, can somebody just start giving me some pop-outs of what is an addictive behavior? Just identify some for me.
Identify an addictive behavior?
Huh?
To identify one addictive
At least
behavior?
one, yeah. But right now I'm just taking pop-outs. After we do this exercise, you're going to write on your paper what some of yours are. Okay?
I live in the past, and the present is not present for me.
Okay. Live in past. Okay. Anybody else? Pop out. I heard somebody say shopping. Who said shopping? Okay. Shopping.
Compulsively reaching.
Speak up, I can't.
Compulsively reaching for my phone in the morning.
Compulsively?
Like, just the first thing I reach for.
And I'm going to tell you something that I'm doing because this is important to do when you do this, because I'm going to invite you to do the exercises at home. Create a support partner, your husband, your child, or whoever that you can do two of the techniques that we'll get to. Yes, ma'am.
I get angry with somebody and I don't express it, and I put it on myself.
Okay, but you got to do that again, okay? You give her back the mic.
I get angry or upset with somebody and I
No,
don't...
no, no. I get angry or upset with somebody
And then I take it on myself.
and then you say you take it out on yourself?
Yes.
Now, some of you may be wondering, why didn't I just abbreviate that? Why do you think just didn't abbreviate that? I could have made it short. But I put exactly what she said. And that's important because that's your mind talk. Okay? It's the mind talk that gets us ignited to do the things and react the ways that we react. So when you're whether you're writing it down yourself or your support partner is writing it on a piece of paper for you, don't write what you think they are saying. Write exactly what they are saying. Exactly. Because when you do the technique to clear, it's called a clearing process. We're going to get to that shortly. But when you do that, it's important that you are actually representing what the mind was saying to you at the point in time you decided to go rob a bank. Or whatever you decided to do. Okay? That's important. So if you be patient with me when I say, please give the mic back to her or whatever, because I want to get Anybody else have any out there? I haven't even heard some of the common ones. Yes, ma'am, Sister Sandra.
My daughters and I, when we were together, we always felt like...
Hold on a minute. My daughter
And
and I.
when we're together, we feel like after each meal, we have to have a dessert.
Okay.
So that was the
Have to. Remember the
Have
word.
to.
I'm going to underline that. My daughter, this is so. My daughter and I, after we eat, we always feel,
We always feel we have to have a dessert.
we always feel we have to, I underline that, have to have a dessert. Okay. Somebody else? Huh? Impatience or what? Being impatient?
Yes.
Being impatient. That's one of them on my list that I have on the slide, being impatient.
Having to have the last word.
Woo!
I'm a mother of 5.
Having to have the last word.
How
When
about?
you said that, I thought of the one that comes up often, Frank Sinatra. It's my way or no way, right? It's my way or no way.
How about resentments? Holding on to resentments.
Okay, holding on to resentments. Anybody else? Okay, you got the idea. Yes, ma'am.
I feel like I have to eat cucumbers every day.
They're good for you.
I'm addicted.
Okay, I'm addicted to cucumbers. I'm gonna put, where did I stop?
My mother was so sick when she was pregnant with me, all she could keep down was cucumbers. So as soon as I could, get to a cucumber, I've been eating them ever since, every day of my life. Well, I might have missed a couple days, but not too many. That's an addiction for me, but it's a good addiction, yeah.
Yes.
I would call it a messianic complex, meaning
Wait a minute, what did you say?
a messianic complex, meaning that you always have to put your religion on other people. It's like that's your goal in life, to either convert them or make them like you or correct their behavior.
Is that your complex? No. Why are you sharing that?
Well, wait a minute. I want him to put that on
I don't
his
think
sheet.
that's your complex.
I want you to write on your sheet, messianic complex. I didn't forget that.
You need to tell her if that's your
Well, a
complex.
messianic means anointed. It means you think you have a God. You think you have a God-given duty or calling to make everyone think like you do.
Okay. But, is that one of yours? Is that one of yours?
Am I a Democrat or a Republican?
The
my
only
answer.
reason I said that is if you have a folder, and you may not want to write, but just remember, you would put that, I have a messianic complex. That's what,
Well,
when we get to
what
that.
if I believe that, but I don't want anyone else to know it?
But, okay, that's what this is all about. It's about you discovering. Everybody's doing their own individual work. That's how we heal ourselves.
Well, I don't know. I thought we were just putting ideas out.
We are. But we want you to benefit from it.
No, I've thought a lot about this, and I believe I have that.
Okay, we gon' if it's a problem for you, because some things that we do are not problems at all. Some of our behaviors are good behaviors. Okay? Who was it that said have to? It was you, Sandra Santos, that said, I know you both. So one said have to, but what he said, this one, feel. I feel like I have to eat cucumbers every day. That was the madam right here. She said feel. Okay? This is not a feeling.
Oh, that's it. That is, I'm addicted to them.
I know, but to say I feel is not that you feel. That's your mind talk. Okay? We have to distinguish feelings from thoughts.
I think.
Right. I think I have to. But we'll get to that. Because this is the kind of things that trigger us doing things that we later regret that we did. Okay? So, all right. I'm going to go through some, and you may have some of them, you may not. I won't go through all of them because I don't know all of them. Okay. Well, before I do that, can you tell me some of the addictive behaviors that are in the Bible? Addictive behaviors that are in the Bible.
Sin,
Sin is ill-defined, but I'm going to put it up here, okay? I want to know, what is that sin? These are addictive behaviors in the Bible.
Sexual behaviors.
Sexual behaviors. So I'm going to put sexual behaviors. I'm writing upside down because this isn't tall enough for me. Or sexual addicts, they're addicts.
Idolatry?
Adultery. You said I, right? I'm gonna put adultery as well. Yes, sir.
Right here. Wait, then I'll bring the mic.
Having power,
Huh?
power, how they wanted to have the power.
I didn't hear.
Power,
Power, okay.
Pride?
Drunkenness?
What did you say? Drunkenness. Woo, that's on the list. That's in the Bible. Yep. Yep. I spelled it wrong. Huh?
Gluttony.
Gluttony. Yeah. Okay, anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem.
Wait, what did you say?
Low self-esteem.
You got the idea? So let me read some off to you, if I can. Laziness.
Yes.
Couch potato. Bullying. Gaming disorder. Gaming, you know, the stuff that the kid, you know, all that. Panic attacks. Some people, they have them every day. Jealousy. Gossip. Lying. What does the Bible say about liars? They won't enter the kingdom of God, right? Of course, we know drugs. We know gambling, casinos, playing the lottery. Have you ever played the lottery before? You don't have to raise your hand. I have. You know, I'm not addicted to it because I rarely do such a thing, but I have done it in the past. Smoking, right? Some people do that. Those are the ones you think of naturally. Oh, we're going to talk about, being addicted to heroin and all that stuff, but we need to look at our own, because most of us are not addicted to something that's harming our body in that sense, you know, in terms of illegal and illicit drugs. But we're addicted. I know when I first started working in the Bureau of Prisons in 1979, the inmates said that they didn't want to take any drug classes with me because I'd never taken any drugs. And I said, you don't know what I've done, right? But they did not want me to take my class. And they had to take several from me. And so one day, I said, you know, I got to get where these people, because I'm working with all kind of gangs, Black Guerrilla Family, Mexican Mafia, Aryan Nation, all in one classroom together, right? And so, so one day I decided I'm going to take a suitcase to work. It was a little smaller than this one I have up here. It was the smaller size, like this. I had every prescription bottle in it that I had ever taken in my life, from childhood until that moment. By the way, I still have all of them. Because I'm a miracle just to be here. And I took it in and we had this long table up front, and I started putting this stuff. I said, don't you tell me that I'm not addicted to anything, right? I never had trouble with those guys the next 9 years that I was in that institution. They were addicted to illicit drugs. I was on the prescription drugs. And that turned me into being homeopathic, natural, because that was killing me too. We have to look at, when you look at things that you're doing and the choices that you are making, it's important you have to know, what am I telling myself? What is my self-talk? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
What am I telling myself? Do I have to take this? Well, I'm not going to do it. I tell Mama Linda all the time when I go there in White Memorial, I say, you know, because I still am under medical treatment, but you know what? I'm still here. And I'm a person that was stillborn several decades ago, but I'm still here. So God has a purpose for me to be here. And he wants me to take care of my body. He wants me to be dear to myself. He wants me to look in the mirror and talk to myself. Not that talking to yourself is crazy, but know who you are. Do you know who you are? If I told you to write, sometimes I go into the training room and I say at the churches and the community centers, I say on this sheet of paper, I have question number 1. And I'm going to ask you guys to do it. I won't do the long version because I'll be short. But number 1, just take this time. Number 1, who are you?
Can we step a little and let him change the mic?
Who are you? Who are you?
So we don't have to hold it.
Write that on your paper. Who are you?
Someone has a comment.
I'm not asking for any topics. Just write it on your paper. That's question number 1. Who are you?
Comment.
She said she's not taking it.
Oh,
No.
go ahead.
Your comment. You think I'm going to ignore it?
Okay, I wanted to mention 3 forms of prejudice. And one would be racism. Another is, what is it? Misogyny. And the other is homophobia. I think that they really ruin a lot of people.
I don't know how to spell misogyny, but okay. 3 forms of prejudice. There are probably more. And if you tell me that you do not have any prejudices, I'm going to tell you you can't make it in the kingdom because that's not true. We all have prejudices. Every last one of them. Sometimes we have prejudices against ourselves. I don't have eyebrows. It's bare. But when people say, well, we can put hair in there, I don't want that. This is how I was created. I don't like that about. When I look in the mirror, I'd say to myself, I don't like the fact that I don't. But I don't want to wear mascara either. And I don't. You see what I'm saying? We all have prejudices. Admit to them. Be happy and embrace yourself and love yourself as you are created. For whatever reason. Okay, did everybody write, who are you? You ready for question number 2? Question number 2. Who are you? You're not doing these exercises.
Can't do this and that too. Maybe I can. I can multitask.
Second question, who are you? You doing these exercises, Miss Lady? Okay. Question number 3, who are you? No, it's 3 different answers. I mean, I don't care what you put, but it's 3 questions. Who are you? Do you really know who you are? How do you see yourself? How do you describe yourself? I am Alpha Omega Curry. That's just the name. Who are you? That's my name, but who am I? Okay, anybody want to share who they are? We're not going to do everybody because we're not in this program that I do is 6 weeks, takes 6 weeks, but each session is like 2 hours, but go on.
When I
We're just
ask the
doing-
question, who I am or who are you, what came up for me is, are you a who or a what? Or maybe, who or what are you? That's what came up for me.
So what did you write on your
Is it a
paper?
who or a what or a combination of the two?
So
That's
how
what
did you
came up.
describe yourself? Come out of
Be-
the head and go in the gut.
Because the who, to me, is what I feel with my body. And the what is what makes the body, is not a who.
Okay, but that doesn't
that-
cut, that doesn't
an
cut the
energy
cake.
force, a power
That doesn't
force
cut
is
the
a
cake,
what?
sweetheart. That doesn't cut the cake. I want you, what did you write? Description of who you are. You didn't write anything on your paper?
That's I'm an energy force, a life force.
A live force.
It's not a
okay.
who.
Okay, put live force down.
A life.
Okay. What did you put for number 2? Number 2, I asked the question 3 times.
It's the same. To me.
Alive, I'm just a live force. That's all I am.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Yes, Sister Walker.
So my first answer is I am a child of God, of the Most High God. I am also a daughter, a sister, an auntie, a cousin, and a friend. I am a Christian, Seventh-day Adventist, and I am a veteran.
Okay. Early Happy Veterans Day. And if anybody else is in here who's a veteran, Happy Veterans Day.
I am a child of God. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a mother. And I'm a friend.
Okay. Great. Great. She has her hand up over here.
I'm really glad we had to ask ourselves 3 times because the first time I was like, I'm not sure. And then the second time I was like, well, I'm a daughter. And then the last time is I'm a person that makes mistakes. Mm-hmm. That makes mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Sister Donna, my dear friend. I love Miss Donna King. Tell me, what did you put down? And don't tell me nothing.
I can't write anything with this pen.
Why? It doesn't work?
It doesn't work.
Well, why didn't you tell Irie to give you another pen? No. You're not going to be lazy, sweetie. I want you to do the exercise. Did you tell me out of your head?
Who am I?
Yes.
I'm a child of God.
Okay.
And I believe in God.
Okay.
And that's my first priority.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 2.
Number 2, the same thing.
Number 3.
The same thing. That's my goal.
Okay. So you don't see yourself as a mother?
Oh, yes.
You don't see yourself as a widower?
Yes, I'm a mother, and I'm a friend. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I take care of
See,
people.
like you like to stay in your head. I know Donna. She's my friend. I love her dearly. Yes, she is. She is. But sometimes, sometimes we do ourself damage and make ourselves sick physically, mentally, and emotionally sick when we stay up in the head. You got to come down here and let out what's in there. If there's pain, let it out. If there's tears, let them drop. You know what I'm saying? Feel. Don't be afraid to feel. God's got our back. Okay, now.
I guess she's going to the next.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to say I'm a child of God, a mother, a wife, a nana, a listener, a giver with a purpose.
With the purpose.
With a purpose.
With the purpose. And that is so important. There's another program I do called Living Life on Purpose, finding out what it is that your purpose in life is. Why is it that the Creator still has you on this earth? When you've escaped death, had car accidents, illnesses, etc., but you're still breathing and you're still here. That means there's still a purpose for you. Something for you to accomplish, God has for you to do. And we need to ask Him, as these things are happening, what is it? What am I supposed to learn from that man running the red light and not hitting me crash on? Moving the car, because I didn't move it. You know what I mean? Just miraculously how God just protects us. Anyway, today I invite you to stretch your thinking about the vital areas in your life, the behaviors that you may have. Something I hate is human trafficking, domestic violence. You know, and you might think, oh, we don't have to worry about that in our churches. That's not true. That is not true. Everything that you see going on out in the world is in the churches. I'm not just talking about all the churches, denominations. All of them have lawsuits against them, paying big time bills. And what is the church offering? What are they offering to our ministers and our leaders and our youth? When we have strategic planning, what is it? These are behaviors that we shouldn't be afraid to address. So, what do? I don't want you to ignore the physical, spiritual, emotional, psychological parts of yourself. For instance, I believe in a holistic approach to health and wellness. It's not all about religion. You got to take care of other parts too. We are the sum of different parts. And so it's important that we acknowledge that and do that. When we can identify, after that exercise, let's do 5 minutes. Just put down 5 addictive behaviors that you yourself own. I want you to own them, to claim them as yours. Don't make them up, okay? Claim an addictive behavior. It could be a positive one, okay? But identify 5 that you have, addictive behaviors. Because I want to get into the exercise.
You're welcome.
Could that be like something you do a lot? Would that be called?
What are you addicted to? I had listed some things, but I'm sure I didn't list all of them. On the presentation, it has probably about 50 on there. Disrespecting elders, disrespecting parents, robbing banks, stealing with your tithe, not paying tithe and offerings. You know, we said gluttony and all of that. So we said sexual addictions, sexual promiscuity, all of that kind of stuff. Yes. Over healthy. Over healthy?
Helping people.
Helping.
Over helping.
Right. Putting others first. Okay. Putting others first. And ignoring yourself. That's a good one.
Overworking.
Overworking. Many of us are guilty of that. Definitely do.
Some people have a propensity, they always have to be like Mr. Clean.
Okay. Obsessive compulsive.
I think she heard it.
A lot of those are on medication, prescription medication, or drugs. Putting people down, condescending. Not loving yourself. Some people hate themselves. They get burned out. What happens when they get burned out? Many of them commit suicide. Look how many doctors and nurses we lost during COVID. They were burned out. Couldn't handle it. Yes, ma'am.
Being taken advantage of.
Being taken advantage of. That's a good one. And some people don't realize when they're being taken advantage of.
Earlier today, I said to one of the church members here, "How are you?" And I received back an answer that surprised me. The answer was, "I have no idea." And I'm just thinking, as we face these questions, a lot of us may have never faced them, and we're troubled and we're puzzled. And we think it's a good exercise, but we might even be fooling ourselves, you know?
That's true. Some people have the point that they refuse to ask for help. They're secretive. Don't want anybody to know what's going on in their life. I had this happen to me with a friend. And actually, not just a friend, but with a godson that was living back in New Jersey, not telling, and was brought up as an Adventist, but left Adventism and went to Nation of Islam. And back in February, I got a call from the mother in Phoenix telling me that my godson had passed, but nobody could identify him. He had totally decomposed by the time he was found. It was only dentures. And his case is still, of course he was cremated or whatever they did with whatever was left, but we've not even had a service for him yet. Not telling people, I need help. I'm sick. I'm in pain. Get support if you need support for whatever. I tell people who are experiencing domestic violence, if your boyfriend or your pimp is doing something or making you do stuff and blah, 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 when you are safe enough to do it, ask for help. Report it. Kidnapping. Look at these mothers. Little boy, I guess, I forget what state the other day, killed his mom. What's going on in our world? And what are we doing as an individual, as a church, to remedy the ills of the mind? The Bible says sin is the transgression of the law. There is no law that forbids us to embrace our being and to embrace ourselves. We got to know who we are.
Dr. Curry, I an obsession with walking on my treadmill 6 days a week, an hour, and when I can't do it or I don't do it, it bothers me.
You beat yourself up?
Yes, I know it's a problem, but I don't know how to fix it. If I don't get a chance to walk, I do half an hour, I'm like, that's not enough. I have to go to hour and a half, and then I can't function because I didn't do the hour and a half.
I told someone at church today, they said to me, I'll try. And then in the next sentence, they used the word can't. And I said, it was a young person, and I said, I want you to remove both of those words out of your vocabulary. Don't ever use the word try, and don't ever use the word can't. And I'll say that to the group. I always tell people that. Number one, the Bible says with God, all things are possible. So don't say what you can't do. Try. If I said to you, try to stand up. Right now, try to stand up. What did you just do? You stood up. There's no such thing as try. You put that as a goal. Those are two words that will get you in trouble. In many cases, it puts people in prison, you know, so look at that and think about it. Now, let's go. I'm going to tell you about Ira, I need your help, sweetie. I want you to come hand these out, just one to each person. I'm abbreviating this because of our time, but just give, and I'll do this side. It's called an accusations demands generator. Tell you what it is in a minute. I think that's two. Are you doing these?
Yes.
Are you? Or are you just telling me that?
No, I got it here.
Okay. Oh, I thought he was back there. Who's missing one? Everybody got one? Yeah. Okay. Who needs one? I have plenty. Okay. We live our lives, as I said earlier, our mind talk is really a generator that's going 24/7, except when you're asleep, and some people dream and remember the dream, so it's 24. You got one for yourself? Yeah. Okay. Did you get one? Okay, thanks. Now, accusations and do you mind being our, I don't want to use that word because somebody may say, oh, she's saying something. Would you be our volunteer? Me? Great. Yes, you. And the reason I'm choosing you is because I think you're the person
I can't think without a pen.
that said,
I'm addicted to
I
it.
think you're the person that said,
I'm the cucumber girl.
no, I had one, oh no, who said, my daughter and I, after we eat, we always
Sandra.
feel we have to, that was Sandra Leha.
No, I eat cucumbers at the end of my meal.
Okay, Sandra, I'm going to use you as the volunteer. I want you to, okay? All right, so look at your sheet.
Okay.
Maybe I'll draw it up here. Okay, let's see. I'm not good at artwork, so I know what the sheet looks like, but the circle looks like. And I want you to think of something. She would have, I have to eat cucumbers every day, all right? So you can put that, or you can choose something you seriously want to work on, okay? That's what we do. We want to, something that you want to stop doing that you do now, okay? But you are saying to yourself, and inside the circle, you will say, I have to. That's inside the circle. I have to. Or, hold on one second. Therefore, I have, hold on. Let me give you an example. I'll use one of mine. Let me change that up in terms of putting it in terms of something. I want you to put inside the circle what I have to do whatever. What is it that you feel you have to do? You feel that you have to be on your cycle. I don't mean menstrual cycle. I mean, like treadmill, right? Okay. So you can put that if you want to. But what is it that you feel you just have to do? Some people feel they have to please everybody. Okay, isn't that true? You don't want nobody mad with you. You want to be liked by everybody, right? But what is something that is a demand on you? Because a lot of times when people are engaging in erratic and irrational behavior, it's because they have these generator that's called an accusation, tell them they have to, it's like that's their protection, that's their shield, right? You can't, the inmates used to say in the prison, and I call them incarcerated offenders, but they would come and they would say, Dr. Curry, Mr. Wilson talked to me like I was a dog, like he's talking to a dog. And I said, how does a dog talk? I said, tell me. Well, you know what? And I don't know what you mean because I never heard a dog talk. So what does he do? He fights the officer, and then he gets more time on his sentence. You know what I'm saying? We got these, because of the way we interpret. That's why it's so important to actually write down when you're doing the processes, write down your exact words. Because dogs don't talk like we do. But that's his interpretation of what was happening to him. You got it? So, put in your circle, I have to.
So it can be a positive or a negative?
It can be a positive or a negative.
I have one.
Okay?
I have to get up at 5 a.m. every morning to have me time before my husband gets up.
Okay. Now, if you put that in the circle, now I want you to go, therefore I have to, and the writing goes on top. Okay? Like I said, I'm not good at doing the circle. So 5 a.m., I know what you said, okay? Just assume that you can read it. And right here it says, therefore I have to. You put up there, what do? Therefore, I have
At that time?
Right in your circle, right. Therefore, I have to do what? What do you have to do? What did you put up top? No. The thing says, therefore, I have to.
Get up at 5.
What did you put inside the circle?
Get up at 5
Get up at 5
a.m. every morning to have me time before my husband gets up.
Therefore, I have to. You'll see how the generator goes. Do you understand what I'm saying about the generator?
Not really.
Going in circles? Okay, so let's go again. Let's think of an accusation that you have against yourself. Okay, some accusations that we might have against ourselves. We might say, I am a murderer. You could put that in the circle, okay? Or you could say, I am unworthy. I remember one time putting in mine, I am unworthy, because I didn't feel worthy. When they told me I had 6 weeks to live, back in 1981, I had this accusation, I am dying. So if you think you're dying, if you claim that, you're gonna die. Self-fulfilling prophecy. I am scared. Therefore, I have to do what? I'm scared of the police. I'm scared of the dark. I'm scared of going out at night. Therefore, I have to be in my house before the sun sets every day. Do you get an idea of what you're putting? What are you accusing yourself?
The accusing part, is that the or else I might be / would be?
Or else I might or I would be, yes. You put that at the bottom. Yeah, you put that at the bottom, yes. I remember after my father died in 1995, he came out here to take care of me because they told me I had 6 months to live. He died instead of me. 10 years later, my mother was living with me here in Victorville, and she passed away. And what did I do? I became depressed. No children, 21 godkids, but I became depressed. And I said to myself, I'm in this world all alone. That's what I said. My mind talk was, I am in this world by myself. I have a brother, and I have 2 nephews, and I have cousins, and all that. But that was not my life. My life was my mom and my dad. And losing them. And when you lose them, what do? You do crazy behaviors. At one point I was 300 pounds. Destroying me. Not loving me, not caring for me. Self-care is important. And you know what I discovered when I did the process? When you do the process, you will discover that your mind talk is a lie. Because I was not in this world all by myself. I really wasn't. Jesse Leah was in this world. He was in my world. You guys may not know him, but he was Sandra's husband. He kept my yard up. He was just a precious guy that I love. I love that family. Jacob, Sandra, and Jesse. Donna King. I met all these people. So I'm lying to myself, and I'm killing myself, doing things that yes. So what the process is called the clearing process. So, Ira. Hand it out on that side. Or maybe you got too little. Give me these, and you take these. I think I got enough. It's called the clearing process. And there are 5 steps. Okay. Give me one. I need to look at it. Okay. Okay, there are 5 steps. It's called the clearing process. It'll help you see more clearly. It'll help you become healthier. Step 1 is to relive what happened to you. Where are those thoughts coming? When that thought came to you to be impatient, to cuss somebody out. I mean, some people, profanity is on the list, by the way. Some people, they don't know any other word but profanity. Every other word out of their mouth is a profane language word. Some people have foster kids, and every other word out of their mouth is calling them some foul name. They don't do it in my presence because I call them. Check on them. You don't do that. You don't talk to another human being like that. So,
when I worked for the Head Start program, I was a preschool teacher, and one of the parents would drop the child off, just push him by the head and say, "Get your egg in there." I said, "Excuse me, we don't talk that way. We don't use that language." She just rolled her eyes and walked out and left him there.
right. You have to call people on it. And I've even heard people cursing, using profanity in the sanctuary, in a board meeting, in a business meeting. It's unacceptable behavior. You call people on it, but you also try to offer them some help. And with this process, what I tell people, teach it to others. Ask them to be your support partner when you get stuck. A couple of Sabbaths ago, I was superintendent over at Apple Valley, and I refuse to go in the pulpit to do anything if I'm stuck. Stuck meaning I got something going on in my mind. It could be ill will or resentment of something that happened that I don't like, but you're not going to find me going up there in the pulpit. I just won't do it. And I immediately say to myself, let me do a clearing. I got to go from 9:15 to like 11:15. I'm not going, so I got somebody else to go up there. I wouldn't go. And they did the praise team, and they did the scripture and the prayer, and they did something else and something else. By that time, I had completed this process. I know it in my head. I don't have to have the paper, right? Know it in my head. Because I don't want to be in God's temple and sanctuary upset. And that's not how we're supposed to spend our Sabbaths. But sometimes people can get on your living nerves. They can just get on your living nerves.
Your last nerve.
And I say, oh Lord, you got to help me with this. You got to help me with this. You got to help me with this. I know I shouldn't be feeling this way, but that was just not right. It wasn't directed at me. It's other people. It's how we disrespect each other, how we dishonor each other, So this process, it says, relive what happened to you. So you write down, I call them life shocks. Now let you know that a life shock can be good, bad, happy, having a baby for the first time, getting married, It could be the death of a loved one. Okay? So when you write your life shocks, you can do a clearing process on any of it, good, bad, hearts off, whatever. You do the same thing. You relive it and you go through. But you have to write your life shocks down. If we were in a program for the 2 hours, you would be writing down life shocks, and then you would choose one in particular that you want to work on. You listen to your mind's accusations and demands. So I'll tell you what happened to me one time. I was mad with my daddy. I was very, very young. I wasn't even a teenager, but I was mad with my father. And I wanted to kill him. And I love my father. My father and I had the best relationship that there could be. But I was mad, and I had to listen to my mind talk, the accusations and demands, and I was just really, really mad. I was mad because he came to Fort Lauderdale, and he said he'd taken us on vacation to Washington, D.C., and we never went back to Fort Lauderdale. Well, I didn't want to go to Washington, D.C. But why would I want to harm my father for something like that? You know what I mean? And so I had to listen to my mind talk. The day I did this was years later, even though my father and I got along very well, because he's my love. I have to verify, you have to verify, true, false, I don't know. What you're saying your father did he really do that? Whatever, you have to write down each sentence or have your support partner write down each sentence, right? They write down each sentence of what you said, what your mind is telling you about the experience you're living. That's keeping you drinking, that's keeping you smoking, that's keeping you at the couch, that's keeping you not taking and eating healthy, that's keeping you unhealthy, right? You write down everything your mind is telling you.
But what if the other one doesn't want to participate?
Huh?
The other person doesn't want to participate.
They don't have to. This is with you.
Okay.
Oh, they happy. They happy. I mean, they happy. They don't have to even know you have. My father didn't know I would resented him. He took me to church every Sabbath, Friday night. He took me to choir rehearsal. He never knew I had what I had. But you know what? I didn't know I had it that bad. You know when I realized I had it that bad was when my mom and dad died and I said, I'm in this world all alone. Years later. Do you understand what I'm saying? You hold on to that stuff, and I say to myself, my parents have lots of property down in Tallahassee, Florida, and I say to them, my brother doesn't want to live there, and I know I'm going to be buried there because my everything's already done with my name, and I'm going to myself, but when I move to Tallahassee, I'm going to really be alone. I don't know nobody down there. And sometimes your resentment keeps you, never got married, never had babies, got kids. But when I think about it now, I say to myself, this is psychologist doing therapy on herself, right? I want you to learn how to be your own therapist and take care of yourself. Self-care. Yes, I encourage you to seek professional assistance if you need it. But do your own homework with your own body, right? That's all I'm asking you to do. Do your own homework. So, when you write each sentence down, you got to take, there's lots of paper. You have a book when you take this thing, and it has all kind of pages. You go through. Is that true, false, or don't know? And next to each sentence, you write a T, a F, or DK. DK stands for don't know, okay? If it's true, put a T. But sometimes you guys identify feelings as true. Feelings are not true nor false. Thoughts is what's true or false. Feelings are feelings. They're real. They're authentic. Feel. Feel. There's nothing wrong with feeling. There's nothing wrong with getting angry. But don't hold on to that anger because it'll eat you out. It'll give you cancer. It'll scratch you out. It'll burn you out. Don't hold on to that stuff. It's unhealthy. So you're going to put true, false, don't know. All of the falses, you stop thinking them. You don't think those anymore. You have to admit that you're lying to yourself. That was a lie. That thought was not true. There was no truth in it. Number 4 is in response to the question, how many times have you done this before? You will either say too many times, or you'll say one more time. Oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. Right? Don't we say that? Yeah. I'm not going to smoke another cigarette. I'm through with alcohol. I don't need this no more. You know? I'm not going to pay the lottery anymore. But then you answer, how many times have you done this before? Too many times. Too many times. And if you are habitual at something, if you are a habitual liar, if you're a habitual gossiper, all of those things, do something about it because you're not going to make it into the kingdom if you continue. I know people who believe their own lies. And then number 5 is the most important and is really helpful if you have a support partner at this point because you can give them the paper to write for you. And you tell them to close their eyes and you say, choose what now to do. What will you do with whichever one accusation you're dealing with? Choose and visualize yourself doing it. It could be the mere thing of wanting a job raise. You see, this works with anything. These techniques, strategies and techniques, you want a job, you want a raise from your boss, what are you going to do? You're scared to go talk to the boss. But you know you work in overtime, you work in 18 hours a day, you deserve it. Other people are getting promoted and you aren't. I want a promotion. I want a raise. Right? I want this. Therefore, do the clearing process. Therefore, if I want that, I have to do what? You got to take action. You can't just sit back and think the raise is just going to come to you. You're deserving. Acknowledge your own self-worth. When I see people, and I dealt with men, women, Wall Street people who used to come out for therapy for New York and all, for crazy stuff, because they had freakish tendencies. And they were married people, you know, but they come to California, Las Vegas, or whatever, and you work with them, and you write their stuff down and get them to come to realize, is this really what you want to be doing the rest of your life? People are sick. The world is sick. Turn on your television when the sun goes down. You'll see how sick it is. Too many deaths. Too many people dying, too many people going hungry. Choose what now to do. Now, I have 5 minutes, and I want to do an exercise with you. Anybody have any questions? I know this was fast. Any questions? Yes, ma'am. Speak up. I know you got the mic now. Yeah.
How do you need an apology for something someone did and they refuse to acknowledge that they did it? But you both were there when they did what they did, and they refuse to acknowledge that they did something.
Okay, my question to you is, why do you need the apology?
So I'm going to be quite honest with what somebody said to me. They told me that I had no worth because I was not married and I needed a husband's name to give me worth. I don't believe that, but it bugs me that this person had the audacity to say that and they refuse to apologize.
But you do believe it. Because you're holding on to it. You're resenting the fact that that person has not come to you and apologized. Why is that apology necessary to you?
Because this person was supposed to be a friend of mine. And now I'm having issues.
But they devalued you. They didn't honor you. They didn't respect you.
Right. So that's why I'm
asking. They said you were worthless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Many people I've worked with say their parents who are also incarcerated, they say to them, you're a worthless human being. You'll never amount to anything. And you know what? It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because they believe what their parents or their foster parents or whoever raised them said to them. They let that other person define them. So you're going to let a friend who really is not a friend, if they're telling you that you are worthless? There's a hymn that says, I am not worthy, is one of my favorites. But I say, what mercy, what love, what grace. Because I am worthy. The Father in heaven said, I'm worthy. He died on the cross. Not just for me, but for everybody in this room. He said, I'm worthy, so why are you going to believe somebody? Remember, forgiveness does not mean that you agree with what you or someone else did or did not do. Forgiveness is your absolute refusal and your unwillingness to hold ill will or resentment any longer. Ill will and resentment is going to keep you miserable. You got to let it go. You don't have to hold on. And believe you me, I have had to do, even with my father. I was so glad that he was taking care of me. I mean, we had a relationship beyond, nobody understood this father-daughter relationship. You would have never known as a kid that I had really ill feelings toward my dad. Would have never known. Because he did everything for me. You know what I'm saying? But what you got to do is look at, how is it affecting me? How is it affecting me? Am I sleeping at night? Am I having headaches? And am I going to the doctor because I now have osteoporosis? You know, you look at all of that stuff. And you say, I don't want to be like this. I told my physicians down at Loma Linda when they told me I had a couple of years to live just recently, almost 4 years ago now. And I said, you guys, I'm going to live to be 108. You can call White Memorial. I've been telling them that since I was in La Sierra. I want to live at least till 108. But really, I want to be alive when Jesus comes. Amen. I want to see him coming through the clouds of glory. But I put when I was a child, I put a number on it, 108, right? This man looked at me and he just thought I was crazy. I saw him 2 more times. He said to me, I have good news for you. And he said, I said, you do? And he said, yeah, you're NED. And he didn't know I knew what it meant. I said, no evidence of disease? He said, no, and I believe you're going to live to be 108. That's what I claim. And I can't hold ill will. That's why I won't go in a pulpit if I'm stuck. You know what I mean? My goal is to make heaven my home. Yes,
I
ma'am.
have a question. So how psychiatrists define people with mental illness when we all have the challenge, considered we are, what do you call this, normal person, or do
You
we
deal
all
with-
have
you-
that
you deal with-
degree of mental illness?
Some people do, and we deal with them differently. I worked at Patton Hospital for a while. And when I had to make a decision whether I wanted to go to Patton or whether I wanted to go to prison, I went to the prison because my dad had been taking me in jails in Fort Lauderdale since I was 5 years old. And I was comfortable there. And my work, even in my retirement, is prison ministry. I do training for I did the training for the Arizona conference in July of this year. Yes.
So what do you think about the system of treating psychiatric cases? It's all medication, no time to talk.
I'm very biased, okay? And I'm not going to say I don't take prescription medications, but I was recently on 12 meds. I'm on 4, but I'm into naturopathic medicine. My mother has always been into naturopathic medicine. So they know what golden seal, they know what moringa, they know what all this stuff. My doctors have everything I take. You know, so, and I'm still living. I give God the glory every morning when I open my eyes. Anybody else have a question? Yes.
Just a second.
Can some of these behaviors be evil influenced? Example of the lady there that she has a friend that is not really a friend, that's minimizing. And then when, you know, and then some people are more sensitive. Some people just, you know, if you get somebody hurts you, you just tough it out, if you will. But there's some, could it be also that because the enemy is around, and it could be that the enemy is using certain people to hurt us? And do we realize that sometimes?
Yes, that's correct. They do.
Okay, so let's say you want to like go down a more natural path in terms of like medicine and things like that, but you don't really have the money for it, or you don't know, or you're not like, what's the sources that you would look into? Is there like what is the most reliable free knowledge?
What is the most reliable way?
Free knowledge in terms of natural replacements for maybe, or not replacements, I guess, for medication, or how do you go about going down a more natural path?
Well, you read books, you get on webinars. Some are free, some are not. You have friends that you refer to people. There are people that I refer to people and say, my friend has this, and that, and they would come and they would, because they're medical missionaries, and so they'd come and they would sometimes give the herbs to them free, and mostly they would discount it significantly because they're elderly people and they're living off of, you know, stuff like that. And then you have people who are just kind-hearted and help you. I have a doctor at White Memorial, and one of the medications that I have is my insurance won't pay for it, right? And it's beyond me. I can't pay for it, right? And so White Memorial, nobody could work out anything. So, but I needed that medication, right? And so this one doctor who also works at Glendale Adventist Hospital said, they have a special program over there, and I'm going to make arrangements for them to send you once a month this medication, right? And my copay on that is something like $10 when it was like over $1,000. You know, so you find people like that who are serious and passionate about their business.
Okay, so is that like kind of the same for knowing what? Because sometimes people try to sell natural remedies, but they're just, you know, it's not backed up in evidence, but you don't know, you know. But is there? What do you know? How do you know what's real?
Have you guys heard of Barbara O'Neill? Do you know who she is? Okay. She's very popular. She's from Australia.
Oh, I do know
okay,
who she is.
Okay, you know who she is? Okay. She's very good. She comes to the United States quite frequently to different of our centers. I don't know whether she's been up to Weimar, but I know she's been to Eden Valley in Colorado, and she's been in Alabama. And my sister-in-law a few years ago was diagnosed with duodenum cancer. And I had been telling my brother for years, she wasn't sick back then, she let my nephews who left the church become, she let that kill her, you know, their behavior, you know, because it's not Christ-like behavior. And so, but she contracted this disease, and I kept telling my brother, you should go to one of these places, or you should do this. And he thought I was crazy. He's always thought I was crazy, even though he didn't think my mom was crazy, but she was the one that was into herbs. My grandmother was into herbs. And so when it got so bad, they finally decided they were going to set up and go to this place. And they went for the 2-week program. When she went back to Emory Hospital, she got a diagnosis of NED, no evidence of disease. Barbara O'Neill was doing the training. She's very, very good. And diet, you know, you can't bring nothing of your stuff there. You got to do what they tell you. You got to eat what they feed you. But my brother came back and he said, B, he calls me B and I call him B. How you know all that stuff? You know, you've been telling us this for years and blah, 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 blah. And I said, and you won't listen. You think I'm a voodoo doctor or something like that, right? We joke about that. But she did not have cancer. When she died, I'm pretty sure it was because of the stress of her boys, which I think might take my brother out too, because he was just diagnosed with leukemia. So please keep him in prayer. And he's under treatment. So I just say, don't worry about the boys. Well, why they talk to you and they don't tell me that? You can't, Adventists have a habit, parents, some of them, not everybody, of trying to make their kids what they want their kids to be. And you can't do that. You got to give them some degrees of freedom. You got to let them make some choices for themselves. You know, and I pray for them. I have them on the prayer list. I have prayer, garden of prayer, everywhere. Every prayer call I'm on, they're on the list. God didn't give up on me, and he's not going to give up on you or I. Yes, Pastor?
Okay. You said earlier that forgiveness was not agreeing with the bad things that happened, but the decision to bear no ill
No,
toward
no,
others.
no resentment or refusal to hold any ill will or
Right.
resentment towards you or yourself. So if you've done something really horrible, forgive yourself.
So, do you feel that God has that attitude toward all sinners, even the worst of them? And that if God is that way, we should also be that way,
Yes.
since we're in His image?
Yes.
And apparently, if that's true, then a lot of our disease is the refusal to let things go.
That's true. Believe you me, when I let go, 300 pounds came off of me. I mean, I still got a few, but I was 300 pounds.
Okay, right here.
Yes.
Yes, what I was blessed, I should say, to know that when people get mad with me or tell me something, that was their problem, you know?
That's right.
And I would laugh, you know? And they would look, and they got even madder because I'm laughing, you know, because I know myself, and what you just tell me, I know that. But they just, you know, and that is what I've been growing with all along. With when somebody, hey, something happened to you when you were young, and this is why you are meat right now. So I would just let it, like they say, water off the duck back.
See,
so
the
that's
thing
what
is, when what people don't want to do is they don't want to come out of the head and go to the gut because it hurts. It hurts when you have to relive those experiences. It really hurts. But when you relive it, you can let it go because you realize that you're the one getting sick, not the person. Yes.
And what happens to them is they actually relived it like if it's happening right now.
Right.
You know, it's like this minute, it happened with them. And that's what happened. That's what happens to them, yeah.
Anybody else?
See, what I struggle with sometimes is forgiving people, but knowing that if you let them back into your life, they will do the same thing.
Anything that is future oriented is a don't know.
Right.
I'm going to cut you off.
But there's
if
a
you
fear
tell me
then
that
that
that's going to happen in the future. Just like we don't know what's going to happen with in January 20th when we have a new administration coming in. Nobody knows what's going to happen then, but people are speculating and doing this and doing that and the other. Don't freak yourself out. Don't make yourself doing it. God is in control.
But my question is, because we're at what I just told you, I cut that person off because I was not going to be talked to or treated or felt, but I got a text message last time, and I don't want association because the apology was not there. And if you were considering me your friend and me and I your friend, I don't say that to people that not even my friends or that I don't, yeah. So that is what I struggle with. Like, do I cut them off because I have not heard the apology, which I did, so I cut them off, and I did not get a text that says, I'm really sorry. And when I confronted, the person said, oh, I don't remember saying that. I'm like, yeah, of course you remember. So that's what, and this is not like a close friend, but apparently this individual needs my friendship more than I need theirs. But so now what?
Well, there are no needs like that. It's I want that friendship or I don't want that friendship. And what I do I have situations like that, but once I'm your friend for life. Even if you hurt my feelings, all I do is I become guarded and I distance myself. But if you pick up that phone and call me and say, I need you, or say, my brother died, I need your help, blah, 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 I'm there for that person. Once I commit myself to that person being my friend, that's my friend for life. That's how I look at my friendships.
I have a comment to her question.
Yes.
I've gone through situations like that, and I've come to the conclusion, like you, Dr. Curry, I would say to that person what you need from that person. I need an apology for what you said and did, and can you tell me that you understand where I'm coming from? And if they say, no, I can't, or something like that, I would probably put a boundary around the relationship, but I would be like you. I'd help them as much as I could, but I would still have a boundary. I wouldn't want a close relationship, but I would be there for them if they really needed help.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
I think I would if they needed my help, but I'm not going to solicit it. I'm not there yet. Some people might be bigger than me, but it's just...
But you know what? We all have to get to the point of what we want to do with our lives. How best can we improve our lives? How best can we get ourselves ready to enter the kingdom of God? So that if on my way home today, I was not here tomorrow, that I don't have no ill will or resentment toward anybody. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say to her, it takes time
Oh, yeah.
to forgive people. You know, people do terrible things to one another, and you just don't automatically say, I forgive you. What you do is you pray. And you ask
It's a
the Lord.
process. I'm processing and praying.
Yes, it's a process, and it takes time.
I've had to forgive people for things they did to me, and I'm okay now. Some of them have gone past me. And I feel sorry for them that they might not make it into the kingdom. So I try to do some introspective and think, okay, I need to forgive whether people ask or not. But it's the association part that I deal with. Because you can't let people into your life that hurt you. Because then that's like self-hatred for me, if I'm going to do that.
I don't let other people push my buttons. I'm not going to allow somebody who treats me bad for me to hate myself.
There you go.
I got to love me. Part of this presentation talks about the self-love and how to learn how to self-love.
You can
Right.
you can forgive people.
You cannot be afraid to look in the mirror and say, Alpha Omega Curry, you are a child of God. Alpha Omega Curry, I love you. You got to put a name on it. You're talking to yourself in the mirror, but you put a name on it. Talk to that person. I don't like this about you. I don't like, tell yourself what it is. I had at the prison in Boron, when I was there, I went to Home Depot in Victorville, and I took it back to the prison, and the carpentry shop put frames on these mirrors so that you can hold them, right? So I have 30 people in a group, 30 mirrors. These guys and girls had never looked at themselves in a mirror. I said, you gonna talk to the person on the other side? They couldn't even look in the mirror. They couldn't do it. I said, we'll be back next Thursday night. You got 18 months. They were in a drug program. If they completed successfully 18 months, they got a year off their sentence.
There's a purpose why they're in prison.
It takes
They need people like you to speak to them, help them understand.
So you got to look in that mirror.
We have a comment over here, please.
Yes.
You can forgive people, but some people don't want to change. And as long as they don't want to change and they continue to do things that are toxic to you, at some point you just have to say, okay, you have a choice on how you're going to live your life. I also have a choice, and bye-bye.
That's true. We always have a choice. And don't let toxic people enter your life. And if they do, don't let them have the effect of pushing your button. You be the commander of the remote control, not them. When you realize what pushes and who pushes your button, you need to say, I'm getting ready to take control. And that's another process. This one is called clearing process. The other one is called an esteem generator process. Go on.
You know, that's the problem with us. We can forgive people, but we can't forgive ourselves. And we can't say, Dennis, I love you. You know, you can't say to yourself. It's hard to say to yourself, I love you. Dennis, I love you. And I've started doing that, looking in the mirror and saying it, you know, because that's how actually you will get to really forgive other people or love other people, you know, because God says you have to love yourself first. Whatever goes into you, you know, is what comes out, you know, so you have to fix yourself first. And then you can love the other person. Because the problem is, we look for the outside to love us first, instead of looking at the inside to love us. And when we can love that, we can stand up to any problems or any what people even says to us, because you know you have that love for you. You're not looking for them to love you.
That's true. That's true. And really, if you don't love yourself, you really can't love God. You got to learn how to love yourself. How would you know how to love God? How do you know what love is? And then, you got to love your brothers and sisters. And it doesn't matter what nationality, what race, what color, whatever there is, it doesn't matter. In the sight of God, we are one. We're all one. And the world is crying. The world is crying today. And what they want to see in our church is they want to see the love of Jesus flowing in you and me toward each other.
Amen.
They want to see us living as a family, embracing each other, loving each other, caring for each other, looking out for each other. No backstabbing. And we can do that, but we got to be united. We got to be on course. Yes, sir.
So about the whole forgiving others, I think I don't know how vague I might leave it, but I really needed something once, right? Like someone to kind of leave me alone, but they kind of didn't. And I got really hurt as a result, like physically, like I actually got really hurt. And I've never heard sorry from that person. And this is a person that kind of has to be in my life. You could say it's not just easy, oh, they're a distant person, that acquaintance even, like, no, it's like someone that kind of has to be in your life. But anyways, I think for a long time I was upset at maybe two people that were kind of involved, or that I kind of wished that would have showed more, maybe a introspective to see like where they kind of have hurt me. Like I understand, obviously everybody has choices to make, whatever that is, right? But I think that question of forgiving others, it's been something on this one I've thought about, right? Because it wasn't something like you could just ignore them or just go on life, oh, I will just forget about you, right? It's people that are part of my life. So, and what she said about having no ill will, and it's been a while now, since it's not like a fresh wound at this point, but that where you have no ill will and you don't hold any resentment for what happened. I think that's very true. And I find it interesting because I was thinking, like, God, we technically every time we sin, we nail Jesus, right, on his palms. That's how Paul describes it. Like, that's what you're doing. So we are all guilty of doing something really bad to someone else, and that person being Jesus, like the one who out of anybody didn't deserve anything like that. So, but yet God still loved us. Yet God still forgives us like if it's nothing. So I think that's really interesting. And he doesn't wish ill will. He doesn't even wish ill will towards people that haven't decided to be Christian yet. Like, even people that are bad, what does God say he does? He gives them rain, he gives them food, he gives them clothes. He still gives them stuff because he loves them, even when they're bad, even when they're actively being bad. Like, he's still. So I think that's really interesting. It just seems so different from what's natural to us. Like, and I don't know, this is just thoughts talking now. I think this was really good presentation. There's some things that have come to my mind that I've really thought about here. But so it's really helped me. I'll just say that much. It's really helped me. But these are just some.
God is good.
Yeah, God is good.
I just wanted to say one more thing. Although I've been married 47 years, we've had our ups and our downs. My husband's always been kind of the negative one, but now that we're empty nesters, the kids are gone, it's just him and I have to change me to be happy. Even though he's negative and unhappy sometimes, I have to do stuff for me first. And that's why I get up that early, do my readings and my coffee, and I have a good day. But although he'll get up and burst my bubble sometimes, I'm like, just block it out. Just block it out. But it's not easy. It's not easy sometimes. But you have to take care
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that.
Well, I think we're going to have to kind of bring things to a close. I'd just like to make a little comment. So I've been thinking, listening to all this stuff, and I've lived a long life, and I plan to live, hopefully, maybe,
till 108 or longer, right?
Girlfriend, or maybe 110.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I don't get hit in the head again by my spa lid. Anyway. So anyway, so I think that when we look at our lives, and we can decide, do we want to keep our stuff or do we want to get rid of our stuff? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you keep your stuff, the stuff that's, like the alien on your face every day when you get up, or it's like a big heavy trash can hooked to your foot, and when you're walking, it's always there, and it swings around right in front of your face. So if we hang on to our stuff, what do we have? Struggle, effort, grief. What is the payoff? Sickness, anxiety, mental illness, physical illness, ultimately death. Or do we want to give up our stuff and have the possibility of freedom, power, and joy? And what's the payoff of that? Good health, happiness, long life, productivity, and all those good things. So, yes, comment.
Just a short comment. I really appreciate this talk, Dr. Curry. And what was brought to my mind is, not only my life, I'm sure everyone, is that it's the battle between who we want to be. And it's either victor or victim. And I know that the enemy would want us to be stuck as victims because that would eventually kill us. And being a victor, that takes more, and it takes God alone.
Amen. Do you have a final word? The last word.
Yes, and if you guys will just bear with me, I want all of you to stand up. I'm going to give you an exercise to do. So I want you to partner up with somebody that you don't, that is not your spouse or significant other. We're going to close, but I want to close with this exercise. I was going to do a visualization. We don't have time to do that. So you have to go with someone else. Are you two? Okay, okay. Okay, so Sandra and no, not you two, okay? You and him, okay? No, good, okay. So do we have everybody partnered off?
Go ahead.
Ira, get with somebody. No, you can't get with your mama.
No, I need a partner.
Okay. No, you guys know each other. You guys know each other. No, I'm talking about these two. No, you can know each other. No. Okay, do Ira.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about
Sandra. Who doesn't have a partner?
I don't.
These two? Okay, who's with, come on, Sister Santos. Young man back there on the mics, come on down here with us. Oh, come on back up. We need you down here. You want me to come up there with you? Does everybody have, do I have somebody that's just by themselves? Okay. No, it's just two and two. So that means you don't have anybody? She's with her.
So you, two or you two.
Can Sister Sandra come with you? Okay. All right. Now, I don't know if you can't see without your glasses, keep them on, but preferably take your glasses off. If you can see. Okay? Preferably. If you can see. Now, if you can't see without your glasses, face each other. Face each other. All right? Face each other. Look directly into the other person's eyes. No movement. Open eyes. No movement. Just stare at the person and see who can stare the longest without moving. Okay? You can't do that? Okay, you gotta, no, face each other.
Okay.
You gotta look at each other's eyes. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna say, but there's no talking. No talking whatsoever. Just stare at the person. I apologize for going over time. I'm going to repeat some phrases to you, and you're going to take turns. So whoever is A, one of you is A and one is B, or 1 and 2. But decide who that is now, all right? And a person 1 or person A is going to go first. But eye contact, no talking.
Dr. Curry?
Yeah.
Is there a language barrier, so I have to try to translate as best as I can?
No, she needs a Spanish-speaking person. No. You speak Spanish?
Very little.
Okay. 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 Direct eye contact, you guys. But we're going to get out of here. No talking. It's very uncomfortable. You can laugh, you can cry, but you cannot talk. You can hug, you can do whatever you want to do, but no talking. In a minute or two, I'm going to ask you to repeat, person one, to repeat what I say. And I'm going to repeat it twice so you can remember it. Direct eye contact. Do not blink the eye. Here's what you're going to say to the person. First of all, ask the person their name, their first name.
What's your first name?
You're going to call the person's first name, and you're going to say that name. For instance, I would say Ira, and this is what follows. Not moving the eyes. I honor you. No. Let me get it out. Because I want you to say it not with me talking. You're going to say it on your own, okay? So that's why I'm going to repeat it twice. You're going to say the person's name, and then you say, I honor you. I love you. And I respect you for the life and the light I see within you. I'm going to repeat it again. Repeat the person's name, and then you say, I honor you. Eye contact, no blinking eyes, no closing eyes. I honor you. I hear somebody talking. I love you. And I respect you for the light and the life I see within you. Now, I don't want you to repeat it right now. I want you to look at that person's eyes, and when it's coming out of your gut and not your head, I want you to tell that person that statement. I don't want you to just because I stopped talking, you say, go on and say it. I want it coming out of the gut. I want you to mean it. I honor you. I honor you. I love you. And I respect you for the light and the life I see within you.
For the light and life I see in you.
And when you're finished, the other person still looking at each other, you don't have a conversation. You're just making this one affirmation to that person on the other opposite side of you. I honor you, I love you, and I respect you for the light and the life I see within you. And it coming from the gut and not the head. If everybody is finished, that concludes what I have to say. If anybody, how was that for you? How was that for you? It's very hard. It's hard. It's really hard to do. You got direct eye contact. No, I see people, they're just looking. Sometimes when you have like gangs, you're working with gangs and different gangs got to look, and they have to go to everybody in the room. And they have to do it, but it takes a long time because they've never done that before. And so some of them embrace when they finally get to the point, because they're in 3-hour classes, So I say, I got time. If you don't do it, we'll be back here next Thursday night, that kind of thing. But it's very important. Say that to our fellow persons.
The meeting now. Before we have our closing prayer, I'd like to thank Dr. Curry for giving of her time and talents today. Here's a little something for you in appreciation, just the top thing, okay?
Thank you.
And let me tell you a little bit about what's coming up for our next forum in December. The speaker is Dr. Dexter Fredericks, and his wife will kind of assist him. He's going to be the main presenter. His topic is going to be drama triangle versus impact triangle. Could I have your attention, please? How to create big impact for God's glory. And I think that his presentation will be full of surprises. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, all right. So we have another forum and women's ministry thing coming up on the 21st. So women, perk your ears up. On the 21st, if I could have your attention, men. I know this doesn't involve you, but we'll plan one for you, okay? Larry. Oh, gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. So